Good morning. Today's Weather 101 is going to focus on a severe weather event, and specifically, what does a tornadic storm look like on radar? I mean, whenever we get into severe weather coverage, you guys see those radar images. We show the rotation, but I want to kind of take you through a kind of like a case study, the basics of what these look like. And I mean, that alone looks like an ominous thunderstorm on the radar, but this is what we would call a supercell, and they can often be just by themselves on the radar, but it's a really complex system. Some of the more basic parts that are easy to pick out include the hail core and the debris ball on the south side of the storm, and we'll get into both of these, but specifically, let's kick things off with the kind of main areas and parts. So starting from left to right, you've got your cold winds coming in behind the system. Then you get into the hail core. On the northern extent of the storm, you typically have a much larger rain shield. And then all the way off to the right, you have that leading edge, and sometimes that's even that line of clouds that comes in. You can be like the roll cloud or just that advancing front edge. It can look really ominous as it comes in before the heavy rain and then the hail, and then sometimes even those tornadoes can arrive. But obviously, lots of parts. Let's break it down even more. Hail core. This is going to be the brightest looking returns on radar. So that typically ends up being coded as like pink, purple, black. And I was talking to my daughter about this, and she's like, well, Mommy, doesn't that represent a tornado? That's the worst looking. And well, the answer is no. Hail will actually ping much brighter a lot of times than the tornado signature itself, just because there's so much more of it being detected up in the cloud and in that thunderstorm. But yeah, the hail core, if you see the pinks, the blacks on radar, that is more than likely some pretty decent hail developing in that supercell. Now, getting into the tornado and the rotation, first of all, you've got to have almost like a mini low pressure system. You have that cold wind coming in on the backside of the storm and that warm surface wind, and it's that rotation in that becomes what's necessary to even make that tornado possible. But once it gets going, there are some telltale signs that say, yep, we've got a tornado. We can confirm it. And one of those things is the debris ball. And you can see it there on the screen. It is typically kind of just south of the supercell, a little south and southeast. And what's happening is, remember that inflow area? That's the tornado. And then as it runs into things and creates damage, that debris gets lofted into the atmosphere. And it also pings as some what looks like almost like large raindrops. Sometimes it can even ping as high as those hail returns. But if you see kind of a just disjointed area just south of a supercell like that, it could easily be debris. Now, we have more radar layers that can help us digest that and really know what we are looking at in terms of debris and if it is or is not happening out there. But if you've ever been interested in severe thunderstorms and tornado formation or just what that structure looks like, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I've got more coming. Another lesson will be up tomorrow. We're going to talk about why it's been so windy.